Sound of Money with Santosh Sirur.
Hello and welcome to another super special, a really very special episode of The Sound of Money. It's going to be our 87th episode of The Sound of Money in my season 3. And I've got a very special guest. The reason for having him on this show is I think I want this episode all about encouraging, motivating someone who has the passion to do something which we are working day and night, but there's something beyond life, right? And that's one of the key characteristics of the passion that my guest on this show has pursued. Let's welcome Devdas Nayak. So, hi Devdas, and welcome to The Sound of Money.
Hello, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here.
So, Devdas, in terms of introduction, let me tell you, he's been previously working in, just like you and me, in one of the big four firms. But there was always the heart that was in a passion that he wanted to pursue. More importantly, this passion, he realized that he needs to take that one big step at age 27. Today, he's just 29 years, just one day short of 30. So he's still in the less than 30 bracket. And he's pursued a passion. But the passion that he's pursued, right from day one, it led into a huge success. And the success is all about a movie, a Konkani movie named Tarpana, which has done amazing on the movie bracket, not just in India, but globally. And we'll talk about the awards and the kind of accolades and the appreciation he has won over the years and the places worldwide. But what is more interesting about Devdas is his age, one. The second, he's been working earlier, a couple of years back in Big Four, but pursued that passion for movie making, and that's what he is today. The third, and that's more important, he comes from a relatively small town, which is known to a lot of us, Mulky. When we talk of the demographic dividend of India, normally we talk about, the Mumbais, the Delhis, and the Chennais, and maybe even the Bangalores of the world. But then there is that hidden talent, that amazing passion that is in and all over India. And that's what Devdas Nayak represents. Devdas, so glad to have you on this episode of The Sound of Money. My first question is, I think, what led you into movie making?
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. Because for an artist, what we look for is that small, appreciation, small claps. People recognize your work, and try to appreciate you for that. So in the initial days, when you start off with some work, when somebody recognizes you, somebody wants to talk to you about your work, your life, it feels special. So thank you so much for your time. And coming back to the question, so I am from Mulky. I completed my engineering. Till the point I completed my engineering, I was in Mulky, and then I moved to Bangalore. So this passion or interest into movies, it did not start directly. My main goal was not always movies, because I didn't know what movie is. I didn't know how to get in. It all started with the initial stages, initial childhood days, where I was pushed into this stage and asked to perform. Initially I entered the stage as a singer. I used to sing in competitions, during the Navaratri festival and other competitions that were held in the hometown. And what motivated me to get into the field of art was, initially we will be having the stage fear when we enter the stage. Usually I was hating this Navaratri season because my parents were pushing me onto the stage to enter, to get into the stage and perform in front of the. But gradually, when you hear those claps, when you see people appreciating your talent, that feels special. So maybe my initial stage of interest towards art started there, where I personally felt that this is a platform where I want to be. And then slowly I used to, as I said, I was a singer. Slowly I started developing this small interest in writing. I used to write these poems, short stories, maybe in my 11th, 12th standard, which we call PUCs here, I used to write these things. And, a few of them have featured in my, college magazines. So my interest was not completely into movies. It gradually started from my second year, PUC time, where after the PU, I get into engineering, where we meet a lot of friends from various parts of the country, majorly various parts of Karnataka, and also from other, states, where I get introduced to a few movies. When they talk about movies, I get introduced to their language movies, and then I start following the Kannada, which is a native language here, Kannada language movies. The making of movies were still a question for me. I didn't know anything about that.
Absolutely.
So at that point, what I thought was, like, since I am finding this new passion towards movies, I thought maybe I can write something and try it out. So the main first thing that I tried is by writing dramas. So again, this Navaratri festival helped me out, where we got a stage to perform a drama. I requested them, I got a slot. I tried to group my people that I know. We were all freshers, but fortunately, something that I wrote, people started liking it. People started liking the performance. Maybe I tried to perform some dramas there 1 or 2 times, and then slowly I personally felt that maybe I can write something. I can create something, because this field of cinema, right, where why cinema, I felt which is what do you say, why I felt cinema is very important for me, because I personally wanted to create something that will stay forever. So now I don't know how many years of lifetime we have. So some visual beauty, some creative beauty that we create, if it stays for like 100 150 years, and via that art form, if people recognize us, remember our name. So that was something that was actually pulling me towards cinema. That is where I after getting the recognition for the dramas, I thought maybe I should start working on cinemas, and maybe in a 10 years of time I should be there directing a cinema or something. That is how my passion, or the interest towards cinema started. It all started in second year or third year of engineering. But again, it was completely to myself. Nobody knew anything about if at all I am interested towards cinema or something.
So you pursued that passions kind of subtly, but at the same time you pursued your academics, which is so important for any parent, that their child pursues the academic, and which you absolutely were an obedient child, actually pursued it. You went on to do your civil engineering, and then you joined one of the big four. So how did the cinema journey in parallel start? Because that's very important. A lot of us are always in the 9 to 5, 9 to 7 kind of jobs, and we always have that passion to do something more, which we try to do something on a weekend. But here, this was something, writing a poem or a book, you can always do that on a weekend. But for you, cinema was something that is at some point in time a 24/7, which is today. How did that whole journey pan out?
So I'll just take a moment to say that maybe it was that since I completed my engineering, I was well educated enough to get a proper job, get onto a stage where I can what do you call, I can lead a good life. I have the
stability factor.
Yes. So maybe that is one of the main steps that I've taken before getting into the cinemas, because it is very important for you to create that environment, create that what do you call, your parents are looking forward for you to get settled in.
Absolutely.
So cinema is a very volatile field, where you never know the tomorrows. You clearly never know the tomorrows, at least for a beginner, and for a person who is completely outsider. I had no idea about cinemas. To directly get into cinema was a little problematic, considering my I want everyone to be happy, my family, It is, I have to be happy. At the same time, my family also should be happy with my decisions. That was my goal. So after my engineering, as you mentioned, I completed my civil engineering, but the goal at the time of completion of engineering was to get into cinemas. That was very clear.
Okay.
And civil engineering, after completing that, I would get a job, a very good job in my native Mangalore, Udupi, anywhere. But again, if I am in Mangalore or Udupi, the what do you call, the chances of getting into the cinema industry was a little difficult at that time. 2016, I'm talking about 2016. So I wanted a way to get into Bangalore, which is a hub for the Karnataka Kannada film industry. I wanted to get in there. That is where, fortunately, I got selected into one of the major MNCs via campus interview. Even though I was not a computer science or a CS related person, again, that is a long story. The interview went on very well. Again, there also I was asked more of these art related questions, because my resume was filled with I have done this and that. Because if they ask me about computers, I am nothing in my resume, because I am a civil person.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I made it very clear that I don't know anything about computers, but if you give me a chance, I will surely prove you. So, and the interview went on very well, and I was confirmed at the end of the interview itself that I am going to get placed. And once I moved on to, again, we had a training period in Mysore and then shifted to Bangalore. It was a very good journey for me as a non-CS background engineer to get into a computer science or a software field. The training that I must mention, it was Infosys that trained me, and I was a full-fledged software engineer when I got placed in Bangalore to work. So Infosys plays a very important role, not only with the training, but again, I'll come back to this cinema and co-working things. What happened was, when I moved to Bangalore, I was very eager to get into the industry. I wanted to get into the industry. I didn't know anything about it, but I wanted to get into the industry. So at that time, Facebook was a little, hyper. I tried texting a lot of people, a lot of directors, producers, but directly reaching out to them via Facebook. But I didn't get much response, which was very natural, because I was nobody. I didn't know anything about cinema. I had not been a part of any short movie team also at that time. But then slowly, on the weekends, I started meeting my batchmates in engineering who were interested in cinema making, and we started creating some short movies for our references. It was all like very below average short movies, but we learned a lot of it. Yes. And parallelly, what happened was a very important thing in my life. That is about the team that I had in Infosys. So I had a very good, team members, a team of very good members who were actually trying to, motivate me with the work. And you have this mental peace of mind in work, which will actually allow you to try something other than that, on passion on the other time. So I've been hearing about very bad work culture and everything, or very very
typical corporate, the toxic culture. Correct.
But for me, fortunately, maybe when universe decides something, it will allow you to do everything that you want. So fortunately, I've got the best team that someone can ask for. So that is one major thing that helped me. Second thing is, you should be passionate enough. You should be dedicated enough to try out. And basically, that is something that helped me. I continuously was, trying to contact these directors, producers. Fortunately, I got in connection with Saurabh Shukla. He's a filmmaker from Bangalore, who apparently was also an IT employee who was trying to make something in the Kannada film industry. We spoke about the movies, and then he was making a movie called 1888, where he wanted dialogue writers. Again, what they were doing is completely different from the normal cinema process. They were shooting only on the weekends. They were only shooting when they had time, which is a positive, which also has a lot of negatives. So that is different, which I got to learn. But fortunately, he asked me to get into the, come to the team, and I started writing dialogues. slowly they had they wanted an associate or someone who can work in the direction department. He asked me to join. I said, okay, that is what I'm looking for. So I joined them. We were shooting on the weekends. We were writing on the weekdays post the working hours, like maybe from morning till 8. Bangalore, this traffic.
Yeah.
So 1.5 hours to your home, and then we were like quite neighbors. I started writing at his place. So we were doing these writing activities on the weekdays, and weekends we used to shoot. Once the shooting is completed, the other post-production work start. So this is way back in 2017-18, what I'm talking about. It was for a Kannada movie. So this is how my entry into the industry, entry into, not completely into the Kannada film
somewhere
industry.
Baby steps
We were making an independent Kannada film. So that is how it started. So it started as a writer, dialogue writer, and then I got into the direction team. Post that, during the post productions, I was fortunate. Maybe again, necessity gets the best. The team was small, so I had to get involved in the editing process. So I sat together with the editor. I started, learning how editing is done. I had no clue how editing was done till 2018. Then I understood how editing is done. The post of that will be dubbing process. I somehow was fortunate because I had to do the dubbing for everyone, like dubbing in the sense being the one who looks after dubbing. So I was there throughout the dubbing process. All these things made me understand more departments of cinema making. And that is when this lockdown happened. The story changes up.
Correct. Absolutely. It's like interval ke baad kind of a situation came in. And that's probably where the work, the 9 to 5 or the 9 to 7 you were doing carried on, right? So
yes.
interval ke baad kya hua?
So what happened was, I was talking more on the cinema side. Parallelly, I was doing really good in my work. So I was being promoted every now and then. I was getting very good opportunities to learn more things on the working side. Again, thanks to my manager, my whole team, who they were great. Yes, even at times when my presence was required for the film, even during the working time, right? They gave me that extra hours, right, to adjust. So if you come an hour late, you work for an hour late, but you manage both the things. They were giving that. Again, in the working in the IT, is that one plus point is there. If you have a good team, if the people are good enough, if you are doing your work on time, there is this lenience that you get. So I was doing very well, even in the software field. Fortunately, I was given an on-site offer. I had to travel to London via Infi to work there. So what happened was, exactly in the month of March, I guess, when the lockdown called. So my tickets were during that time. So again, because of Corona, my travel cancelled. Maybe that is how the fortune was.
Correct.
Yes, I had to come to my native, and then all these things stopped.
Correct.
The work was almost done with the Kannada film, but I was here in the native. I couldn't go to Bangalore during that time. So I was here writing some random scripts, which even now I do that. So this 1 year, right, 2020 to 2021, I was completely kind of lost because my on-site didn't work. Anyways, I didn't have any plans to settle there for a long time. I just wanted to work there for like 1 year and then come back, have enough money in the bank to show it to your parents
and pursue your passion.
Yes. That is what my plan was. So but that didn't happen. Again, here I cannot work on any movies because it was locked down, completely shut down. For a fresher, it is not at all open. At that time, what happened was, I'm talking about those 2 years in the lockdown, 2021 till 2022. Initial January or something, I was kind of writing on my own. I was continuously writing, even though I didn't get into any movies. But what happened was, one Konkani person who wanted to make movies. Somehow my friend got in touch with him. then my friend told me that there is one person who is interested in making movies. In case if you want to, pitch him a story, you can do that. I had no stories available. So, but then again, Konkani was new. Konkani,
Correct.
even though my mother tongue is Konkani, this Konkani film industry, following it up, there were no major movies getting, not major. There were no movies at all.
There were no
getting
movies.
produced.
Absolutely. Yeah. Agree. Yeah.
So I thought it is a challenge, to take again, do it in a proper way. Konkani industry, even though the community might be a little smaller compared to the other industries, we have to, now that we were criticizing a lot of other language movies or our language movies, which we felt were not that great. So it is as a normal audience. Now, when I get an opportunity, I have to do it properly. That was the goal. That is how this Tarpana plan started.
Okay. So Tarpana, what I understand, Devdas, is it was a minimum budget movie. One, two, it got actually shot in a very short span of time, and you played a very crucial role that went beyond direction. Maybe if you could share, and one of your lead cast, Sanjay, was in the United States, and that on a very senior level, and he coming to India. I mean, this was literally the universe bringing all of you guys together. How did this whole maze unsettle and get things moving?
Exactly. That is what I call it all the time. So universe gets us all together. If something has to happen, something good has to happen. So I'll just tell you the story from where I left. So I went to this producer who actually wanted to produce a movie. He was because of that I thought of making a Konkani movie. But when you try to make a Konkani movie, it has to be, there are a few boundaries that you have to create. Even though people say you have to, you should not have any boundaries. We know our limitations.
Correct.
For now, we had to set a few boundaries so that we will not fail anywhere. I wanted it to be proper. So my concern was, it is a Konkani language movie. You cannot talk to a random person on the road in Konkani. He knows the native language here, Tulu. We talk to them in Tulu or Kannada or any other language. We won't talk to any random person in Konkani. So if I'm making a movie in Konkani, and there are some cliched things in other movies where some other what do you call a person who doesn't belong to a community speaks in Konkani, which doesn't actually suit.
Yeah, it doesn't gel well. Absolutely.
Yes. If the movie was made in Goa properly, everyone could speak in commute in Konkani, right? They can communicate in Konkani.
Correct.
So, but my plan was to make a movie which is set in my native Mulky or Mangalore or this side. So not everyone speaks Konkani. So the major boundary was to create a script which happens. The story should happen in a family or in a community, so that we'll not break this. So that is when I don't know what happened. There was one day I get a call from my dad's friend. There is if you have watched Tarpana, the house where we have shot. So the owner of the house, there is this story behind it. So I get a news from his family that I think he's almost about to die. So we didn't know that he has expired. I mean, like he has passed away or not. We were very close to him. I and my father both were equally close to him, even though he is 70-year-old. So he was treating me like his friend. So I immediately ran there. I and my father ran there. We saw, by the time we reached there, he had passed away. Unfortunately, that was his end. Otherwise, he also would have been a part of my movie. But what happened was, that whole day I was there at their house. I was seeing each and everything that was happening in their house. His son, who was in I think Arab UAE, he had to come from there to his native. Again, Corona period, all those tests and all those confusions. Here in the in the house, the family, his son, all are they're expressing their feelings at that moment. I was looking at all these things. Maybe, I don't know, that made me think of a story that happens in a house.
Typical,
where this ritual basically happens. This one input. The story completely is different. The backdrop is what I am talking.
Probably the emotions of that day kind of gave you the joining the dots, right, to something big later.
Correct. Yes, yes. So, but there should be a story. You cannot directly, make a movie on some events.
Yeah.
There should be a story. That is when I thought of male ego. Male ego is something very big, to be honest. If you take male ego, the what do you call, interactions, the things that is happening in between a father and son duo, it is actually, it can take you to the topmost form of male ego. Where male ego exists, there is love. Both are in parallel. Obviously everyone will have this thing with parents, right? When we talk against them in some of the situations, then it settles down and everything. In every household it happens. But in case if male ego crosses a certain level, what can happen to that particular relationship is what that was the thought that I got in. Again, death and everything, I correlated it and then formed a proper script. I went to this producer who asked me to, make a movie. I gave him a narration. He was very, very much emotionally moved. He was directly showing it in front of us. He desperately wanted to make that movie, but what happens is sometimes a few things don't go in together. So because of their commitments that they have, right? They couldn't make it. I tried a lot of times, maybe for like 10-12 months we continuously tried to reach out to them. They were very much eager, but they couldn't manage to get into a place. So finally I told them I have to move on. I've already spent 1 year waiting for the opportunity. Uh, Possibly again universe supported. One of my previously I used to try to talk to some producers, right? So because of corona, it had all stopped, any of the movies. I had their contacts. Fortunately I was no one, but one of them had saved my contact, my number. And during this time I saw a status where the current one of the producers, he is one of the producers, current producer had a status saying he is looking for scripts of medium or low budget movies, even in the regional languages. It was so proper scripted. It was like, you
Can't
do
get
this
better,
movie.
right? Yeah, absolutely.
And
Spot on.
immediately I
Connected.
pinged him. He's not from the Konkani community. He is from the Tulu community. I pinged him. He immediately called me. I went to him. I narrated him again the same emotional. He was also completely emotional at the end of the narration. He immediately told, "If you have the script, I'm ready to shoot it tomorrow."
Wow.
So I was like, I've been hearing stories of people who are like spending 5, 10, 15 years in the industry, not getting a producer to produce a movie. And here I am. I've not directly gotten into an industry, but people are so good to me. I was thinking that way. And fortunately, that happened in the initial stages. So he asked me to go ahead with the plannings. I immediately called for an audition. Uh, Konkani, I was not at all sure if I get 10 or 15 entries as an audition application. But I'm very happy that maybe, I don't know, everything had to fall into place. So we've got at least 250 to 300 entries, audition entries. People of various, what do you call, age groups, from Bangalore, Mumbai. We were not even thinking outside India that time. We were just in Karnataka. But then we had this auditions shortlisted, and we had all the characters, including even Anuj. He was kind enough, even though he used to act for Crime Patrol. He was kind enough to apply for an audition, and we immediately selected him. I didn't know that, because I am not exposed to the other language serials. I didn't know he used to act for Crime Patrol. I just saw his audition and I thought I have to get him because he can emote. So that is how Anuj came on board. Almost all the casts were intact, and then for the role that Mr. Sanjay Saukur played, the father's character, which one of the main two characters in the movie. So Anuj was there strong enough for me to emote it. I wanted someone who can give that tucker to that character. And that is where I had 2-3 entries, and one of them was Sanjay Saukur mom's audition. I liked it very much, and I told him maybe we have to meet in person and discuss more. I want to give you a script and ask you to. He told, okay, sure, but I would need at least 15 to 20 days. I told, why? He told, I'm in USA. And
Oh.
that is when I I
Oh,
thought,
wow.
okay,
This is
very nice, but it is not going to work out for us. I told him, okay, bye. We are not going to continue because this is a Konkani movie. First of all, we have a boundary. We
yeah,
cannot afford coming
absolutely.
from there, coming
Mm,
here and
mm,
acting. And but he told, you try with your producer in case if something can work. I
mm.
knew it is
It
not at all
won't work.
going to
Yeah.
possible.
Mm, mm.
Yeah. I knew it. After 2 days, I get another mail from him asking him what happened. I told it is not working.
Mm.
After a few days, again he mailed me, tell me give me the script. I'll just. I think I had shared the script by
Script with
then,
it. Mm.
and he had gone through it, and he fell for it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, and then he was continuously mailing me asking what happened.
Yeah.
And then I personally told him that at the moment we cannot go ahead
Mm.
because we cannot bear your expenses.
Yeah.
It is we are considering someone
Itself
from the
struggling to get to the movie
yes,
level, right? Yeah.
yes.
First one. Yeah.
So we cannot pay you enough,
Mm.
pay your mainly the transportation and other costs.
Yeah.
So then finally he messages me one day saying, I don't want any of the transport thing. I can manage it on my own. You
Yeah.
please take care of the remuneration. I'll manage the other
Manage.
things.
Mm.
Then I was like, this is crazy. Why will I? Why would he come from USA, come to my native, act and then go?
Yeah.
Maybe again, as told, the passion for work, the passion
Yes.
for art, right? The core passion that he wanted to
Yeah.
show. He came from there, so everything sorted, and even the mother's character finally sorted. Everything worked as per the plan.
Mm.
But again, at least all my characters are here, all my actors are here. We are doing the post pre-production work.
Mm.
Problem was my producer was not reachable that time.
Okay.
He was not reachable again for his personal reasons.
Yeah.
I don't want to take that.
Yeah.
But I at that moment was completely lost. I
Yeah.
have all the actors,
So
an
the
actor
anxiety
coming
had
to
set
work.
in, right? Yeah. How do you
Yes,
now
yes.
try and bring them together? Yeah.
I didn't know what to do, to be honest. But what I knew was, now everything is set. I can manage everything else if I get a unit for shooting.
Mm.
That is when I called my the producer. Somehow he got in touch and he told, I'll provide you. I'll share you the unit. Unit in the sense the camera, lights, and
Yeah.
the unit boys, everyone.
Mm.
So everything else I thought I can manage. So that is how the shooting of Tarpana started. And before this, I have to say, once my the direction team, the DOP team, everyone
Yeah.
were on board, we knew that now this is a Konkani movie. All are freshers. The complete team is fresh. I have done one movie. I've worked in one movie. I know that how things work. But I
Yeah.
also don't have complete experience of being in a proper movie set.
Yeah.
But I have to somehow manage. This is a moment where I have to again, my image in the native also plays a part. I have to
True.
keep that
True.
still. So that is where I tried spending more time on the pre-production. We had a cinematographer coming in. We had each and every shot planned during the pre-production. My direction team was there, and at least 60% of the direction, 60-70% of the team members, the technical team members, were non-Konkani people. So that was also a
bit of a challenge.
complication. Somehow everyone, we all grouped together for one name, that we have to shoot this movie. And everybody, the force behind that was the story is good enough to, be a movie. So that is how the shooting planning started. Now, if you ask me, how were you managing your IT life during this time? I have to say, after the COVID, like during the COVID, one thing started is you need not go to the office.
The work
to
from home started. Yeah.
So basically, you will be assigned. So the field that I am working on, I need not be in front of the laptop proper 8 hours the time that they give. I have to complete my work, the work assigned, the stories assigned to me during the proper period, and give it back to them. That was my work. Okay. So what I used to do is, whenever the day starts, I used to complete my work in a proper time. And the rest time that we get, right, during that time I used to do all this pre-production. My team was anyway set, so pre-production activities. But for the 15 days of shoot that we did during the Tarpana, I had to take leave. I cannot shoot and
it's not possible.
Yes, so, and that is why I planned it for 15 days.
So you
so
shot
that I
the
cannot
entire movie in literally 2 weeks, right? Wonderful.
Yes, the complete movie, complete Tarpana, what you see, it is shot in 15 days, proper 15 days schedule. And each and every day's schedule was pre-planned. So today morning to afternoon, whatever we have to shoot, what are the scenes that we have to shoot, what are the shots that we need, everything was planned. So because of that planning, we could complete it in a very good time span. So that is how the shooting of the movie started.
Wonderful. So that was age 27, right? And then the movie released, and the release was on a different level. You guys have screened it literally across the world and got a lot of not just accolades but lots of awards. Maybe if you could share, it's the first taste of success, right? How are the awards,
Right.
the appreciation?
Yes. When I started the shooting of the movie, I was almost, I was just 27, 28, that May period. We started it, I think, 2-3 days back, 2 years back to this date. So when we, started it, the only goal was to produce a good movie, produce a good Konkani content. So we have the story strong enough to, to be watched. So we have to produce, get into the ready state. That was the only goal that I had, because nobody else knew what is happening. Even when I was shooting, nobody else in the community who were being a part of the movie knew what he is doing, because I am shooting it from this angle, other angle, that only director or the direction team, DOP team knows. So finally, to bring out a good movie was the only aim that we had. What happened was, during the post production, Sanjay Mam again started continuously asking about how are we going to release it, how are we going to get the trailer out, and all those things. There was this pressure actually on me from all these teammates, Sanjay Mam, maybe Sanjay Mam, Anuj, or the one who played Mat's character, because it is so exciting for them. They don't know, like, in the sense,
waiting when to see themselves on the screen.
Except for Anuj, all were facing the camera for the first time. So all were very excited to see themselves on the screen. But I personally knew what was going on during the post-production, because I was the only one working on the post-production. If you take some other movie, there is a team, there is a department, which looks after each things. Here, since again we had a lot of constraints, so I had to take up editing. I was not an editor. I didn't know anything about editing, but I learned it during my previous film process. But I thought to edit a short movie or something, it was good enough. But I had to take that up and continue with that, because I had to get the movie out. So that is how I started with editing, then dubbing, then each and every department, including the titles and everything that you see, everything is done by me. It is done by me because not because I knew everything. It is because of the necessity that there was no one in the team who knew. My friends were supporting me, my teammates were there continuously asking me, but they couldn't manage to do all these things. So somehow I had to complete that. Fortunately, if you look at the product, it has come out well. So I can talk about all these
very
things
well,
right
not
now.
just well, very well, because I've seen the movie.
Yes, so that is how the movie was made. Now the release part. So since all these people were pressurizing me, I had to find out a release date, because I didn't have anything in my mind about release and other. So I thought maybe November, in the month of November, I can bring it out. I'll get a trailer out, and then we'll have 2-3 shows in India, and then we'll close it. Anyways, we have done good work. We knew it. That was my plan. And then what happened was, Sanjay Mam was continuously asking me. At that point, I felt, what if we release our movie in USA first? In the sense, there's no other Konkani, at least GSB Konkani movie, which has premiered in US. The first release happened in USA. So that could be one of our promotional material as well as a positive. If the word of mouth is good, if people like the movie, it will be huge positive.
Correct.
If people don't like the movie, again, maybe we can have 2 or 3 shows here and then close it.
Yeah.
So that is how the plan of release started. And then I spoke to Sanjay Mam. He coordinated in USA for the release. So what happened was we freezed a day. It was November 17th, 16, 17. And October 30th, I thought by October 30th, I have to release the trailer. And we had a very good trailer cut. Fortunately, that again supported a lot in spreading the word of mouth. And by October 30th, by October 22nd, I had the trailer cut ready. I had dubbing ready. I wanted the music. Now, the music director that I, believed in, the one who told that he'll complete the music for the movie, complete movie, he started talking, a little nonsense during that time. So he was also occupied with, he might be, with his own problems. But once you, what do you call, confirm something, once you once you are a part of that, you should not give up in between. The commitment is important. So what happened was, I cannot fight with him because I don't have any leverage. I don't have any other time. The trailer has to release in 3-4 days. That is when my childhood friend Mulky, he got onboarded. He was the dubbing engineer for the movie. What happened was, we did the dubbing in his studio, and I knew him for a long time, but I didn't know that he can do music properly for a feature length movie. So I had no other option but to go to Mulky. That is where he did the music for trailer. And trailer music was really good. I without any instruments we had. That is when, again, this guy also was separated from the team, right? So I had to release the movie on November 16th, and by October 30th, we had the trailer release. I didn't know what to do because the tickets were selling fast and almost houseful in USA on the November 16th, so for the November 16th show, and we don't have the music started yet.
Wow.
So that is when I told Karthik that this is a moment of our image. We have to maintain this. We have to somehow get the movie out with the good music. I will sit with you completely. Since I told you, I am a singer in the sense I started my as a singer.
In a way, career,
I knew about music. I knew how what music can suit a scene. And while writing the scene, I clearly knew that on a what do you call the music which I want. I was very sure with what I want for each of the scenes, and that is how we started off. Karthik was very, very much worried because within 5-6 days, two songs.
Challenge.
Yes. So what happened was, we sat day and night continuously from the 1st of November to make the music. And by 7th, 8th, it is not enough if you compose the music and give me the, clippings. It has to go to the mixing and mastering team. What you hear in the theater is because of the mixing mastering, the 5.1 setup. So again, that takes 3-4 days. After that, once I get that to put it in the timeline and get the DCP, it takes 2-3 days. So all these were like, we were completely out of this thing. We were trying something which was next to impossible at that moment because we were freshers. We didn't have a team to do each and everything. So what happened was, we sat continuously for like 6-7 days. The whole music, the songs, the BGM, everything that you see in the movie, it was composed within, I think, 4 to 5 days and recorded. So again, the songs, I had the lyrics ready for the dummy tune. So I had written the lyrics. So it was easy for us to compose immediately. So, and then Karthik only sang the song. We had the complete, composition ready, mixing, mastering. And tomorrow, like today midnight is the show in USA, I guess. Today midnight or tomorrow morning. By today afternoon, I could get the first copy out somehow continuously. And then that was the, we were like working. I did not sleep for 5-6 days continuously on a stretch. That I'm very happy about that because, those were the days where I was actually living what I wanted to live. I was continuously working on
That's the passion, right? Yeah.
creative contribution. Yes.
Yeah.
So I was
So is
very
it that
happy.
when the US release happened, you were in India still? Is it because you were still working on the?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was in India. The theaters, the ticketing and everything was planned, and Sanjay Mam actually coordinated. He helped us in the US release. I was here to, the main job for me was to give him the
deliver
content
the
somehow.
movie, right? Yeah.
Yes. Once you have the content, also it was very difficult to upload the movie to him.
Yeah.
So all those issues we have faced during this.
So
But
how did you manage
fortunately,
that piece, the last mile connectivity, if I have to put in terms of the
connectivity was
upload?
very difficult. Actually, I thought it is a easy process for me to upload it, and then the technology is so good and everything. I was thinking, but you never know. It is a 160, 170 GB file, and one small glitch in the internet will stop it. So what happened was, I've tried six times uploading the content, and all the 5 times it has failed.
Okay.
I don't know. See, again, universe supported from somewhere. It asked, okay, upload the file. The sixth time it got uploaded. And that is when, okay, I thought I can sleep now.
Wow.
If you, I'm just giving an example. If in case of any other movies, if, for example, the movie that I'm currently making also, I will take at least a few group of people's opinion, after the completion of the movie. Once you have the copy ready, I'll show it to a few people.
Take
and I'll ask
feedback.
them to be there. So once that is there, we'll get to know what is the plus and minus of the movie, and then we can rework on the movie.
Correct.
Here there was no chance at all. We uploaded it at the last moment. I was trying for 2 days, but I could upload it on the last this thing minute. So there was no chance of getting a review, reworking on it. The content that you see right now is the first and the last content that we completed, we prepared. So fortunately, maybe since the script was so good, we could maybe we were fortunate enough to bring it onto screen. People started liking it. Maybe everything supported there.
It fell in place because as you rightly say, the script was extremely strong. At the same time, your passion, as you rightly said, right, that was the moment you were always waiting for. It couldn't have been a better for a US release. And then what happened next is complete history, right, in terms of the kind of appreciation and the awards. Share a little about that.
It cannot be expressed. I can put it in a few words right now, but the feeling that we had on the day of the release, right? So what happened was, I think at this time it got uploaded 10:30 or some time that we are recording, and he received the content. I don't know if he has checked it or not. I had to travel back to Mulky for attending an important function. So I got into the bus. I was in bus, and once you travel from Bangalore to Mulky, there is a network
connectivity issues.
I did not check it. I didn't know what was happening there at all, because the show was, I think, in the morning, 9 o'clock our time. The USA time was evening. I'm not so sure about it. But our morning was the show. So I knew that once I reach home, I'll get the information about the show and everything. So I knew that the content has reached. He has downloaded it. Everything is fine. So I came to Mulky. I came home. I was waiting for the movie starting time, and Sanjay sir told everything is fine and movie has started. Movie has started screening. I was waiting for the first interval. Sanjay sir was texting me that this has come out well. This is happening. And after the interval, I did not get. There was no message. He did not. He didn't respond to any of the messages. There was no message regarding any post the screening time. I thought by this time the screening should be over and we should get some information. I was not getting any information. So what I thought was maybe that people didn't like it. Maybe there was okay response. And see, as an actor, Sanjay might have felt a little okay. He took his time. I thought I did not sleep for 5-6 days. I will just sleep. I just came to my room, and I am telling you, this is very filmy, very much filmy, because I was about to switch off my phone and sleep. And that is where I got a call from Sanjay sir, and he was very happy, and everyone except him were crying. So I even his wife was like very happy. She expressed all her emotions.
Yeah.
Fortunately, people reacted so well. I was so happy. We never knew. See, once you work on a film for an year, continuously working on the shooting, the editing and everything, you will
Yeah.
lose the taste of how
Yeah.
the movie is.
Yeah. The
Basically, if I
excitement is
watch the
lost.
movie,
Yeah.
I will not know if it has come out well or not. I don't know anything about it, but the reviews, the response that I got, I at least spoke for 10 to 15 minutes with various number of people.
And
They
yeah,
were the phone and
connecting with,
continuously
talking to you. Yeah.
then Sanjay sir told one of the, I think the one who was screening the movie, he came, he was a foreigner, he was a person from USA. He spoke to me. I was like, what is
Wow.
happening? Because we had just imagined of a Konkani story happening in our native, and
Yeah.
now it has reached somewhere.
Yeah.
That is how the US release and the word of mouth started
Spread.
there, which forced us to immediately try screening something here in Bangalore. That is how the story started. The screening story started.
And then lots of awards, right? Then you had the India release, many places,
Yes.
and in fact, there's still a demand in Mumbai itself, and then
Right.
Mangalore and Bangalore, of course, and then the awards, the
Yes.
international awards. Tell us about that.
So, like we had very less knowledge about how
To go
how
about with
to
the,
apply
yeah,
for the awards and other things. But with the minimal knowledge that I had, I started applying for a few
yeah, the
award
nominations.
ceremonies, nominations, and we were not expecting much, to be honest, because we were a Konkani movie, and we fortunately got a few awards, which are actually one such is this Dada Saheb Phalke, which actually we never thought of it when we received it. So it was very nice that they considered, they recognized this regional movie. They provided, they gave us an award
Platform.
under
Yeah.
regional category. Yes. So that is one award that we are very happy for. And you clearly know the other awards, the international awards
The
that
one in
we were a part
Vietnam.
of.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Where Sanjay sir actually received
Yeah.
Best Actor, which obviously for the performance that Anuj or Sanjay has given, right? They clearly deserve it. So
Yeah.
we are very happy for that. Now we are looking forward for a set of awards, not awards, the film festivals which are
Okay.
happening.
Yeah.
Mainly the national, state film festivals, film
Yeah.
award that happens,
Yeah.
which actually happens this year. So we are very much looking forward
Wonderful.
for.
Yeah. I still have two questions. One is, when did you decide to kick the bucket so far as your professional, the work was concerned? And the second, what's next for Devdas Nayak in the movie world?
Yeah, yeah. So what happened was, I during the making, post production and release of Tarpana, I was still working for an IT company. I was still a part of it, and then post Tarpana, I didn't know till the release of Tarpana. I didn't know what is going to happen for me.
Yeah, of course.
At least it was a passion. I've done it. How am I going to continue in this field? I didn't have any idea about it. And then uh, one of our audience, right? So he arranged a special screening of Tarpana, even though he is not from our community. And that person got in touch with me. He liked the liked Tarpana, and then our communication improved, developed. We after a point, I asked him if he is interested in producing a movie. He's a producer actually. He had produced a few Tulu movies. So that is where he told, if it is in a proper good budget, then we'll try to go for a Kannada movie. And when I got this opportunity to make a Kannada movie, then I thought of taking a call on my professional life, because I was managing till that time. But when I the Kannada movie that I'm making right now is a commercial thing which needs a lot more preparation and a lot other things. So in case I could have managed it for a long time, the IT work, and in case if I cannot give justice to the work that the software companies assigning me, I don't want to take their salary for a free
Yeah, true.
thing.
To be fair, yeah.
I had to take a call on that. I thought I'll give it a break for 1.5 years. I'll work on this Kannada movie, and once this is done, maybe if everything works well, great. Otherwise, IT field is there. I'll have to go back with continuing to try something on my passion. That is how it has started. So after the completion of Tarpana, I had to just when I started Kannada movie, I had to quit IT.
Devdas Nayak, absolutely fantastic. Listening to this real life story in many more ways, because you've been an inspiration. I'm sure the audiences are going to love this interview. More importantly, because you pursued a passion at such a young age and you had that conviction, and I'm sure your family supported. All the very, very best for a couple of things, for the movie magic of movies that you want to pursue as a career. Secondly, the awards that, especially the film festivals that you are applying for, and pursuing a career which many of us don't get an opportunity, but you have been that inspiration. Thank you so much for joining me on this truly special episode of The Sound of Money.
Thank you. It actually, the appreciation, the claps that I receive right now, it has to go to the whole team of Tarpana. That they were all, the pillars.
Yeah.
My friends who knew nothing about movies, they were supporting me. My parents, I'll tell you, I'll just take 1 or 2 minutes
Please. Yeah.
more on this.
Yeah.
Because Tarpana, now people are saying it is a low budget film and everything is fine, but for a Konkani movie industry, I think personally the technical things that we have used, the quality that we have produced for a Konkani industry, the budget that we have put in, it is actually very huge, because there is no return at all expected from movies here, from the theater movies.
It's not an easy thing.
Maybe it was because I had this 7 years of IT earnings that I had in my bank. I could invest that on the movies. That is how Tarpana was made. Again, fortunately, IT also helped me there. And also, see, we will be passionate. We want to make movies. We want to try it on any other field. But if there is no support from the family, right? If at all, the first step when you reach out to them, if there is no positive response from the family, you cannot do anything. I was fortunate enough, maybe because also I was thinking the same. I wanted to make sure that they are happy. So it was a give and take. It happened, give and take. So they were supportive enough to say that if you want to follow your passion, try to do that without affecting your professional life. Absolutely. Which I tried managing to a point. So that is how it happened. And I'm happy that I could do something that I wanted to do, and maybe I will continue to do the same. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. All the very, very best from the team here. Well, that was an awesome interview. I'm looking forward to that release, and he's just one day short of being 30. So happy birthday in advance. And of course, have a great day ahead. So that's me, Santosh Sirur, and my guest, Devdas Nayak, this wonderful episode of The Sound of Money from me and my guests. Thank you for watching this episode of this podcast, The Sound of Money. Bye-bye and take care.
The Sound of Money with Santosh Sirur.